And I would say as well as psychological, maybe underestimating this team.
Yeah, people, welcome back to Jamaican Fun, and for this special edition or special review look on the reggaeboyz match with Don Rep yesterday. So this one's gonna be a little bit different. There's a lot to talk about, so I'm gonna break this down in basically what is considered 5 key points or 5 key takeaways I had from the game. So I'm gonna start with what's called the rotten pair, and essentially it's the best place to start because it has to do a lot with the formation and the personnel up front. So looking at Jamaica's lineup, we were set up by Coach Grimmy into his favorite 4-4-2. Wade starting in goal as expected, Tavon Gray at right back, Deshaun Bernard in centre back, Hector partnered him, and Lee at left back. Lowe sat in front and was partnered by Johnson in midfield, and they were flanked by Bobby Reid and Ronaldo Cephas. So that means we had a front two of Shamar Nicholson and Antonio. No, I thought this was interesting. I figured he would do and put Nicholas and Antonio together because they are by far his most experienced front two, but it was a bit interesting because both players are basically like for like. So my eyes were immediately peeled to see how they will manage and play off each other. Well, all I can say, it was clunky at best. A lot of times there were miscommunication between the front two of them, and a lot of times they would get into each other's way. Nicholson didn't do much in terms of hold up and build up, while Antonio was trying to do all he can to do such a task, but was normally bulldozed and bodied by at least 2 to 3 white shirts. So it was quite difficult, and as the game stretches on, with midfield servicing blocking, Antonio went further and further back into midfield to search for the ball. So it caused a disconnect up front. It caused Antonio to be basically non-existent in terms of attacking, and while Nicholson got the goal, a very crucial goal that it is, he himself didn't exactly create much chances on his own. So it was definitely a rotten pair. I thought Antonio himself looked much more comfortable when Dixon came on later, so it seemed that obviously when you have a target number 9, it's best to have a much more nimble, fleet-footed centre forward to go along with him. So they were the likes of what we did with Jamal Lowe back in the past, and Dixon did the role here. You would like to think that would be corrected in the next game against Dominica. The coach himself admitted it that these two are more akin to playing as a lone striker in a front three, and he was hoping that there will be a better tandem, but clearly work is there to be done. Who knows, they might come together, enough practice and enough work and enough understanding, but with these short rounds and short time together, maybe we shouldn't force it. Number 4, black and grey. Alright, so we're going to go and touch on a particular player who I thought had a Jekyll and Hyde game. In the first half, I thought Tavon Gray was by far the weakest link in our team. He was absolutely troubled and hurried in that first half. He was constantly caught out of position, and all the attacking danger from the Dominican Republic came behind him. All the dangerous plays Dom Rep had in the first game came behind, as he was often caught up the pitch and was slow to react. His position awareness was definitely one to talk about, but his touches on the ball also seemed nervy and slow at best. Sure, the rest of the team were kind of like that, and we'll get to that soon, but him himself a lot of times had the ball a chance to clear properly up the pitch and delayed and was caught on the ball. I thought he would be surely changed at halftime, but we do have a lack of depth at right back at the moment, and credit to him, he seen that the coach talked to him and he listened. He was much better, I felt, in the second half. He didn't went on any great adventures walked about in the second half. He was much more at home. He was much more composed on the ball as well as he was much more disciplined in his man marking. He had a much better game against that number 11 Reyes from Don Rep, and I can honestly say I don't remember any point in that second half calling his name, and in this case it was a good thing. Yes, he did his job admirably and without any fuss. So just look at his stats quickly to see what I was talking about. He was given a 7.1 by FootMob. He had 37 out of 48 accurate passes, that's 77%, and a lot of those missed passes were in the first half, but he cleaned up well in the second half. He had 66 touches, 9 passes in final third. He attempted no accurate long balls, and he had 2 out of 2 tackles won. So overall, it was a decent game from Tevon. He clearly grew into the game, especially in the second half. It seemed that the coach instructions were pretty much clearer to him, and he executed much clearer. So well done to the young lad. Hope he keeps it up. Point number 3, hot potato. Alright, this is one I really want to talk about keenly. A lot of fans after the game was frustrated, and they have been frustrated a while with Coach Grimmy's tactics and how he wants to play his football. I'm going to say this from now. If anybody expect us to be peak Barcelona, you're fooling yourself. We would not get that, at least under this coach. But even he must be in complete disarray in a way how we handle and pass the ball in this game. It was absolutely slow and lethargic how we are on the ball, how we handle the ball and how we pass our ball in this game. Everything from the back to the midfield to the forward seemed so slow and unassured of themselves and what to do with it. And it seemed the Dunrep team picked up very quickly. Immediately within the first part of the game, we were on the ball and immediately we looked lost to what to do with it. Credit to Dunrep, as I said, they picked up, and as soon as we touched a ball, the white shirts were coming in pressuring. And it caused us to even turn off the ball much more. Donald Johnson was a key problem with this. He started out decent with some good touches in the beginning. He was asking for the ball. He was distributing well. But after he made a mistake that caused a Dunrep counter, it seemed that he caught into a shell. After that, he was basically non-existent. Damian Lowe is, of course, a good shield in front of that back four. Himself is just not the greatest on the ball. Anytime he has the ball, it seemed that, while he has good intention, he wasn't making any clear forward passes. But honestly, this issue was widespread throughout the team. Credit to Bobby Reid, he seemed that he was one of the few who was trying his best to create something going forward. He would start out wide at that right wing, but he would often roam in midfield to try his best. So again, it goes back to the tactics of the coach. He stuck to a 4-4-2 as I stated. And normally when you're a traditional 4-4-2 like that, especially with two target number 9s, you'll be looking from your wingers or at least overlapping fullbacks to be crossing the ball into the box from wide. That was basically non-existent here. I honestly was surprised. We could have tested more with our physicality in the box and try our best to swing in some balls early and quicker into the game. We floated some softballs into the box when we were out of ideas, but no, I wanted a more clear plan of getting down to the byline and swinging it in. Of course, it's difficult when you have Cephas on the left when it's not his game, and we have Bobby Reid who was more coming into the middle to get onto the ball. But this is where I thought we missed a trick. You don't want to see more of Lee and Tavon Grid probably overlapping a bit more to get down to that byline to swing the ball in. I felt like Coach Grimmy was a bit too worried about the opposition going the other way and has his fullback staying at home. So it caused us to be a bit anemic up front and led to the fact that Antonio had to come back in midfield and Cephas had to do a lot of the legwork himself, which we'll get more into, to get something attacking going the other way. We also had to do a lot of long diagonal passes from midfield or centre backs, as again there was no real build-up play in that midfield. Again, a bit of credit to the coach though. He did bring on Kerry Anderson at half time and we were a bit better on the ball when the youngster came in, but it was a bit disappointing to be in a home game like this against the 150th team in the world that we weren't necessarily more on the front foot. I led to about a nervy game on the ball and in the stands. Moving on to the next point, speed kills. Alright, so this is now our time to look at the few positive in the game, and starting with the very fast speedster Ronaldo Cephas. I heard few stated before that Cephas will be our secret weapon in this CONCACAF region because very little can contain that pace, and it was on full display in this game. Credit to the young man, anytime he got a chance to stretch those legs, he took full advantage and the players in white just couldn't keep up. Of course, our only goal came exactly from this, as our counter came exactly from a set piece. He took the ball up just in front of his own top of the box, and he was able to pour the ball with full desire and speed all the way up from in his own half, past a defender who would try his best to take his shirt home with him, and into the box before he can easily lay it off to a surprising Nicholson, who was able to keep up with him, who was able to tuck it away neatly. Cephas was definitely the main attacking player and display in this game, as after the goal, Dominican Republic wasn't sure how to play him. Sometimes the game tightened him and he burned past them, and at times they decided to drop space and give him the respect he needed, but it allowed him to cut in on his right foot sometimes, which, while he didn't get exactly cause too many threats, he did manage to dribble all the way from the left hand side into the box on the right hand side, cut the ball back and was chopped down in the box, but surprisingly was not given the penalty. But it was much more to see from Cephas, especially in the second half. Again, his direct play to always go at his fullback was in full display, as the Dominican Republic were having fits of what to do with him. And even when the ball seemed impossible or lost, his desire and speed was still able to get us an unlikely penalty, as you can see right here. Unfortunately for us, Bobby Reid did miss the penalty, but again, you have to give Cephas all the credit. He does have one weakness, and that weakness reared its ugly head. For all the speed that he has, he's still missing that technical polish. A lot of times he has a play to finish off and does the wrong thing. You could say confidence was bursting on this breakaway here with Deshaun Beckford, and you could say that, based on the way he was playing, he fully deserved to take that on, and you can give him credit to have the confidence, but once he decided to do so, you just gotta finish that play. Nonetheless, it was still a good game for him, and we have to give him much credit. And for the final point, we're gonna go with forgotten. So yeah, when the squad was announced for this match, and the mention that we were getting not just 6, but 7, but 8 JPL players in the team, a lot of people were up in arms and was even cussing out the coach. A lot of people thought that having the 8 JPL players would not only weaken the squad overall, but basically cause us to lose this game. But in the end, there was no JPL players in the starting 11, and then the 2 that played came on and did well. Kyle Dixon came on and gave us a bit of spark up front. He made Antonio much more comfortable, and Dixon was definitely trying to get onto the ball more. He even had the crowd on his feet when he did his nice drawback onto his left, but was unable to finish the play. But the more impressive display of the 2 I have to give to Richard King. When he came into the game a bit early to replace Hector, who took over knock, and a lot of fans to the left and right to me in the stadium were immediately worried that again on a knife edge such as this, we're putting in the youngster at centre back. But he got to the pace of the game very quickly and asserted himself very easily. He was honestly very impressive, not only in his defensive display, but also on the ball. He seemed that he was a veteran and been playing at this level for years. The way he handled coming into a high pressure situation such as this. So I have to give major credit to Richard King as well as Karim Dixon. And on the end of the day, most fans have forgotten those 8 JPL players. And all basically the sticking points were at the coach about the general performance of the team. Anyway guys, that's my 5 quick takeaways from the reggaeboyz match against Dominican Republic. Again, we won 1-0. But while I'm happy with the result, it was not a good performance, honestly. We definitely look disjointed and void of ideas of what to do. It seems that the squad in particular, was playing together for the first time in years. While the Dominican Republic team, while toothless up front, they definitely had a better movement of the ball, different rotation of players, and it seemed that they had a clear idea, a clear picture of what they should do and what to play. So there was a stark contrast. You think that Jamaica were the team that were ranked 150th in the world. But nonetheless, the result is all that matters. Let's quickly look at what football believe were our best 3 players on the day. Of course, the number 1 spot and man of the match went to Ronaldo Cephas. He had 20 out of 22 accurate passes, 3 chances created, 1 big chance created, 1 penalty won, and 4 total shots to get an overall score of 8.6. A little high for my point. I think I'll knock it down back to full 8.0. As I said, some of those final decisions in the final third, I wish he did a bit better. Nonetheless, it was a great display and should increase his stocks much higher. Shotmar Nicholson actually got the second highest rating from Footmob again with a 7.8. He had 82 minutes played, scored 1 goal, 10 out of 16 accurate passes, 0 chance created, and only 1 total shot. Alright, to be honest, a striker's job honestly should be to score, and he did just that. But you felt that there's so much more he could be doing in this game. A lot of times throughout the game, I could see Coach Grimmy being displeased with him and try to bark orders what he should do. It seemed for the most part of the game, he just had difficulty communicating with Antonio and exactly where he should be on the pitch. He could have done a bit better with his all play, and he could have just basically be a bit more effective overall. But the point is, he scored the crucial goal, and I still think a 7.8 is a bit high, but you have to give him ratings for that. And the third rated player had tie between Hector and Lee. I felt Hector's 7.4 ratings a bit too high. Sure, he had a steady game around there. He didn't cause most issues, but it never seemed was as commanding it as he would like in that midfield. He had some errant passes and some nervous touch, but again, he was pretty solid. So I can understand what they were coming from. But Lee, honestly, I felt was a very good player at the left back. He had a 7.4 rating, of course, as I stated, and had 37 out of 41, 90% accurate passes. He created no chances, as I said. I would have loved for him to overlap a bit more and swing in some balls into the box, but so it go. He had 57 touches on the ball, and he had 2 passes into the final third in the end. Yeah, he did try one cross, but it was inaccurate, so he got 0% there. But in the defensive third, he had 3 clearance, 1 headed clearance, 2 interception, 4 recoveries, and he won 3 out of 3 aerial duels. So pretty good solid display by Gregory Lee in this game. And let's quickly touch on what was considered our worst player and the worst rating. Donald Johnson got 6.3 in the game. As I said to you, he started pretty well but quickly died in the game. He had very errant passes and touches on the game, and he did not take much forward passes. Minutes played 71. He had 31 out of 37 accurate passes. A lot of those are sideways passes though. He only had 1 chance created. He had 46 touches, and a lot of that died towards the end, especially with Anderson taking more of the mantle. 4 passes into the final third, failed with one of his crosses, and he only had 1 out of 4 long balls. As I said in the beginning, they were definitely trying to find Nicholson and Antonio up front with those long passes, and he was dispossessed 3 times. I thought that was the crucial issue in this game for him. Again, he has gotten a lot of chances in this reggaeboyz team, and it is not working out. You may feel with some of our better players coming back, especially Palmer in the next game, that might just be a hit for him in this team. But you never know. Coach Grimmie does like him, but he has gotten a chance after chance, and it's just not impressing really. But anyway, let's take a quick look at what happened in our group. As Dominica, our next opponents, went to the home of Guatemala and picked up a hot 6-love. Galindo was the star performer of the day for Guatemala. He had a 9.2 rating, and he had a brace on the night. So Dominica they were solely beaten. Anyway guys, that's my look at the Jamaican national team World Cup Qualifier against Dominican Republic. Again, we got the 3 points, and that's all that matters. And we move on to our next game in Dominica on Sunday. So let me know in the comment section what you think of the performance, and who was your man of the match, and who was your weakest player. But otherwise, thanks for watching. If you're new here, please like, subscribe, and share as we continue to keep a track on the reggaeboyz throughout this summer at the World Cup Qualifiers and the Copa America. Otherwise, keep it locked for all things reggaeboyz and the Jamaican Premier League right here at Jekyll and Hyde. YouTube, big up yourself.